Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of my Football Manager series. This is episode number 9, and today we are returning with the season finale as we finish our first season in charge of Millwall, where we could finish as high as 8th, or we could finish as low as 15th. Let's find out how we get on. Come on, you Lions. Now, obviously, there's nothing to show you off camera because you saw the last two games we played, the 2-2 draw at Bramall Lane against Sheffield United, and then our 3-1 defeat at home to Fulham, which mathematically confirmed it. We can no longer reach the playoffs in our debut year with the Lions. Our final two games are away at the Riverside against Middlesbrough and at home to Aston Villa. You'll see both in today's episode. And after a run of just one win in our last 8 games, it's been a frustrating end to the season for the Lions after what was such a great run in the second half of the season. So here is a look at the table for you heading into the final 2 games, but as you can see, cannot finish higher than 8th, and realistically can't finish higher than 9th, to be honest, and 15th is as low as we could drop. I'm hopeful we'll stay in the top 12 and stay in the top half of the table, but I'm not entirely sure. It's going to be tough. That game against Villa on the final day could well decide who finishes in the top half and who finishes in the bottom half. But anyway, there was actually one thing to show you off camera, actually. Speak of the what? I don't know. There was one thing to show you off camera. Aidan O'Brien has signed a new contract. He was out of contract next summer, and I decided to give him a new 4-year deal. These red arrows, man. If you've watched one of my FM saves before, these frustrate me so much, especially on a young player. But O'Brien through the academy, a decent player, obviously striker that can play out wide on the left-hand side as well. He's not got a great goal-to-game ratio, but he's a good squad player to have. And what I really like about him is the high work rate, although it is decreasing, so I'm not liking that at all. But a new deal for O'Brien, and that keeps him here until 2022. So, yeah, first game today, it is indeed Middlesbrough away at the Riverside Stadium, where, again, we can't qualify for the playoffs, but after a terrible run of form, I just want to see us respond and get a result here. So, making some changes to the lineup heading into the game after the loss in the last one. As you guys know, Archer is out for the rest of the season. Shackle is out as well, and probably out for the rest of the season too. So we won't see him in the Millwall shirt again, as he'll be back to Derby County after his loan spell this season. And also McLaughlin is of course suspended after the red card against Fulham. So Martin's in goal. It's back for Meredith, Hutchinson, Cooper, and Romeo with a midfield 4. Ferguson on the left, Marshall on the right, in the middle George Saville and Sean Williams. Up top, Gregors and Morrison, and on the bench Girling, Webster, Toffolo, Thompson, Wallace, Cahill, and O'Brien as well. And Cahill will start at the Den against Aston Villa. Don't worry, that'll be his final game for the club, and we'll see how he gets on then. But the first game's the Borough, though. Let's get the win. Let's break out of this poor run of form, and let's end the season strong. Come on, you Lions. It's just been such a really frustrating way to end the season. Can you not drag that down the whole way? No, you can't. It's been such a frustrating way to end the season because, again, it's been such a successful year for us. It really has been. Reaching the FA Cup quarter-final is a great achievement, and to be safe by quite some distance, with 20 points clear at the bottom 3, is brilliant, especially because this season I predicted us to be in a relegation scrap, but instead it's been far from that, and we've been in relative safety for pretty much half the season, really. So it's been a great year, but if we end it with just one win in our final 10 games, that would be just so poor, and no wins in our last, I think it'll be 7. That would be terrible. So got to get it right today and come through with at least one win in our final 2, and hopefully we'll start off with a 1 win here. But first highlight came to Borough, and the second one's going to come to them as well, as Britta Sombolonga is sent over the top, and he's through, and Martin makes a brilliant save. Playing for a new contract, David Martin. I've got to say, he's getting it at this rate. That's a great stop. First highlight for the Lions, Ben Marshall's throw finds Sean Williams, now Romeo into George Saville, and Saville has space to shoot, and he does, and puts it just wide of the post. Still 0-0, and that's our only shot so far of the game. And I gotta say, some of you guys might be thinking, is it time to abandon the 4-4-2? Well, it's the way Millwall play, both in real life and how we're adopting it in the game as well. But I'm definitely thinking next season, you might have seen my tactics, I only have 2 loaded. They're 4-4-2 and 4-4-1-1, which we rarely ever operate. But anyway, it's still 0-0 here. And Steve on the ball plays it out wide towards James Meredith. Another chance for the Lions. Meredith crosses. Gibson heads clear it straight to Morrison. Clayton is there with the interception though. And now a chance for the Borough on the break. They have looked a better team in this first half. And a chance to take the lead. It's Adama Traore. Slides it across. And there is Ibrahimi with the finish. And the Borough go in front, and let's just say definitely I think next season we'll need to think of a new tactic perhaps when the 4-4-2 isn't working like right now. 1-0 down 33 minutes in, and the Borough do make their pressure count. Aston belonging down the right sees Adama Traore on the overlap. Lovely run there as James Meredith lost him, and as he slides it through, Ibrahimi was onside. Martin, not great goalkeeping there, couldn't keep it out, and the Borough do go in front. So first highlight of the second half comes to the Lions. But unfortunately, it's going to come straight back to the Borough after Saville's free kick was cleared and Stuart Downing on the knock. He's looking like the young Stuart Downing there going down left-hand side, but there's Saville with the interception, and we shall get the danger away of Cooper finding Williams. That's a great ball by Sean over the top, and Gregory latches onto it. Now, can he finish? No, Darren Randolph with the save, and Gregors... Oh, I mean, he's picked his form up a little bit in recent weeks, scored at Bramwell Lane against Sheffield United, but I got to say I'm disappointed that he's going to fall short of hitting double digits for the season in the Championship unless he scores a couple of goals towards the end of this year. He had a decent start, but 2018 has not been a good year for Gregors. Ever since that contract extension, he's not been the same striker. And a corner for Middlesbrough. Baker swings one in. It's going to drop to Roderick at the far post all alone. Didn't shoot, but does find a dammer. And he will play it in. And Gibson should have made it 2-0. He was all alone there. But a terrible attempt there by Ben. And we still are trailing by 1 and still in the game. But to be honest, whilst we've not played terribly, the Borough have been on top. And I expect them to go 2 goals up, not before long. Here is Baker through to the goal scorer. And Ibrahimi out wide towards Fabio Da Silva. Now Adam Clayton receives it as he plays that wide towards Stuart Downing. Back inside towards Lewis Baker. And the youngster into Clayton. Nice little build up this from the Borough as it's played through to Britta Sombolonga, who will shoot from a tight angle, and again it's David Martin with a save. If it wasn't for him, we'd be 3 or 4 goals down. A couple of really good stops today, and he's keeping us in the game. So we're into the final 6 minutes of normal time. We're still trailing by 1. It does look as though Borough are going to get the 3 points, and they can confirm it here, and they've done just that. Britta Sombolonga sent through by Adam Clayton, and that is going to do it. And as we'll drop down to 13th place, we'll be level on points with Aston Villa. But because of the goal difference, they will be leapfrogging us and we'll be going to the bottom half of the table. It's good to know we now can't finish lower than 13th. Even with Middlesbrough winning this game, we can't finish any lower than this. So that's good. But I wanted to finish in the top half. And after such a great run of form in 2018, to have a chance to possibly make a playoff push, to know now we're probably going to finish in 13th place unless we can beat the Villa on the final game of the season. That's just so frustrating. This has been a horrendous run of form to end what was such a successful season. And I hope that we don't dwell on this too much heading into the postseason. It's actually been a really, really solid year. And I'm actually going to say I'm not happy with the performance out there. I'm starting to get a little bit frustrated now because this has been a really poor run of form. And yeah, that does mean that heading into the final game of the season, we knew there was very little riding on the games anyway. We can't finish lower than 13th. That's good news at least. But if we are to finish higher than 13th and make it into the top 12, then we must beat Aston Villa on the final game of the season. So yeah, horrendous run of form. Hopefully in the final game of the year we'll get it right. Aston Villa to then, bring them on. So here we go then, final game of the Championship season as we aim to end on a high with our first win in a while and get ourselves back into the top half of the table to close out Season 1. Taking on Aston Villa, where again, if they just get a point in this game, they'll stay above us on the goal difference swing and that'll be enough for them. We're going to stick with a 4-4-2 for the game. It's our way despite the really poor run of form and the same instructions as well. But there are quite a few changes to the lineup and possibly some final appearances out there for quite a few of our players as well. Martin, who's in goal, is out of contract in the summer, may well leave us on the free. So is Toffolo as well, and Webster too. So this three might end up leaving. This may be their final games for the club. Cooper and McLaughlin make up our back four. With Ferguson on the left, Marshall on the right, who's on loan from Wolves. So again, may or not see him again. Ryan Tunnicliffe and Williams through the middle, and up top together O'Brien. And one player that is leaving for good, Tim Cahill. Oh, we're going to miss you, Timmy, but thanks for coming back for the year and giving us some good memories. On the bench, Girling, Shaq, who's going to play his final game for the club if he comes off the bench. Romeo Thompson, Onyedinma, Gregory, and Tom Elliott as well, who we've not seen for a while. Also, may well make his final appearance for the club if he comes off the bench, as he is not currently very happy here. So here we go. It's Aston Villa. It's the final game of the season. Only a win will send us into the top 12. Let's get it done. Come on, you Lions. So we are currently still deadlocked at 0-0, past the half an hour mark, and this is a bitter way for Tim to say goodbye, wearing the captain's armband on the final day, and he's now fractured his jaw. Oh, Tim, I wanted you to score the winner. Bicycle kick in stoppage time. Now you're coming off 32 minutes in. Well, that is the final piece of involvement for Tim Cahill in a Millwall shirt. Fracturing his jaw and leaving the pitch in the first half. That is such a shame as Tom Elliott comes on. But still dead up to 0-0. Haven't done anything in the first half. And as things stand, this point, we'll see Villa stay in 12th and we'll stay in 13th. So at the break, I'm going to calmly say unlucky boys. Things just haven't gone right for us so far. And a few of the players are motivated. And I'm just seeing to the right of me that Nottingham Forest, who have been in 22nd place since the start of December, have now leapfrogged Cardiff. And as things stand, are staying up on the final day. What a great escape that will be after being in 22nd all these months. Anyway, first chance of the game falls to the Lions. And it was the boys linking up that may well be playing their final appearances. Toffolo down the left with the cross. But Tom Elliott really should have scored. Unmarked free header at the far post and headed it over from about 4 yards. Golden chance there, but spurned. But a good start to the second half as we continue to apply the pressure. It's Ben Marshall on the ball, playing it into Jake Cooper. And now Sean Williams goes for goal. Oh, it's gone in as well. Williams fires it home. I think that should have been stopped by Sam Johnston. But instead, the goalkeeper on loan from Manchester United must have misjudged the flight of the ball because it was an accurate strike by Sean, but it didn't have that much power on it. And Millwall have taken the lead. Marshall to Cooper, into Sean, takes a touch, gets it out of his feet, and, well, it was an accurate strike, we'll say that much, but I think it should have been stopped. Regardless, we don't mind. Millwall 1, Aston Villa 0, and as things stand, we are going into the top half of the table to close out the season. Come on. But with 18.5 minutes to go, there is a highlight for the visitors, and their first of the game, as Robert Snodgrass is trying to get himself forward, finds Alan Hutton down left, who crosses, and at the far post is Jonathan Kodjia. And for those to watch my Aston Villa career mode, it's offside. I was about to say that's revenge and something to say for me selling him or letting him go as part of a swap deal for a new striker I signed, but instead the goal's been disallowed for offside and it doesn't count. So still leading by 1. Can we hang on? Free kick for the Lions, Ferguson to Marshall, and Ben's going to strike it. Oh, yes, and for the second time in this game, Ben Marshall has just drilled it home, and we are 2 goals up. And surely now we're going to go into 10th place. Oh, yes, that's what I'm talking about. Ferguson to Ben, and he scored a nice goal against, who was it? Was it Sheffield United? I think it might have been in the last episode. And or was it Fulham? 1 of 2. But we've gone 2 goals up, and that should do it. So absolutely delighted. Going to bring on Onyedinma for Marshall, and I think I will bring on Gregors for O'Brien and see if he can get his 11th goal in the championship. Not the 10th. He's already got the 10th. Sorry, I got that wrong in the last game. But Onyedinma and Gregors on. But it's looking quite likely with 5 minutes to go. We are going to get the 3 points that will see us going to the top half of the table. However, here is Jonathan Kodjia, denied a moment ago by the linesman's flag, and this time denied by David Martin. Well done. So we are about to hear the final whistle round the Den for the final time this season. And this is going to confirm, well, a much needed win. In the end, it's a little too late in terms of doing anything to our playoff hopes because they are over before the ball's even kicked. They were over in the last episode. But you know what? We'll take it. Final score, Millwall 2, Aston Villa 0. And after a horrendous run of form, at least we end on a really nice positive. I'm very pleased with the result and your performance. The boys are extremely delighted. And for Tim Cahill, such a shame that captain for the day, the Aussie's going to leave us with a fractured jaw and nothing else. But hey, we're not that bothered because we know that the result was the most important thing. And we finally managed to get a win. No point in saying to a specialist. We finally managed to get a win after such a really, really dreadful run of form. Even though it doesn't mean much, we're still glad to know we do jump into the top half of the table, and that's where we've finished. So, as you can see, Wolves won the championship, and Fulham were promoted in second place. The playoffs are going to be settled between Brentford, Sheffield Wednesday, Norwich, and Derby. Who's your money on there? Brentford in the best form there. And the bottom 3 are indeed Nottingham Forest, Barnsley, and Bolton. So, Nottingham Forest, you could have survived on the final day. Oh, look at that! Adam Lafondra scored a 95th minute winner for Bolton. And would they have stayed up had they got the point? No, they wouldn't have done so anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But either way, Forest, Barnsley and Bolton go down to the championship. And for Millwall to sit in 10th place after 46 games, you know what? That's actually a really, really good debut season for us. 64 points picked up. 52 goals conceded was pretty poor, let's just be honest here. And only 46 conceded. The goal difference swing was not great for us. However, one thing I will say is this. We had a really good debut year with Millwall. Much better than expected. You know, the Carabao Cup, a failure, but I wasn't really fooled by that anyway. But to reach the quarterfinals of the FA Cup in our first year and, you know, give West Brom a really good go at the Hawthorns and to finish in 10th place in the Championship as well, so much better than I was expecting at the start of the season. I think we've had a really, really great year in charge of Millwall, and there's a lot of positives to build on heading into the second season. I was pleased with that, really pleased. So what we'll do to end the season is go through a couple of different things. There's our there's our end of season awards, and you can see that Shane Ferguson was voted Player of the Year. Not a real surprise. Shane all season long was consistently really good for us down left-hand side of our midfield, and had a fantastic year for us there down that left-hand side. Marshall won goal this season. You saw that in the last episode. It was indeed against Fulham, that wonderful strike. And Jed won Young Player of the Season, our right midfielder this year. As for our season review, as you can see, few would have tipped Millwall to be being capable of avoiding relegation heading into the season, but the Lions confounded every expectation by achieving a top half finish. The Lions were one of the competition's surprise packages, consistently defying expectations and owing largely to an impressive spell of form between August and September that saw them rise to 11th. That's not right. That was our impressive spell of form. No, it wasn't. It was at the start of 2018. But anyway, our moment to forget was our 5-0 defeat at home to Reading. That was definitely worth forgetting. And our match of the season was our 3-2 victory at Deepdale as well. And 84% of our ground was full for the season. Quite impressive. 70,000 the average attendance. And yeah, I've got to say, I thought that was a really, really solid first season in charge. So as we discussed the plans then, this is what we're going to say to the boys. The season has finished now, and it's time to focus on what we can achieve going forward. I think we can earn a mid-table finish next year, and you need to come back for pre-season with the same level of ambition, because that's what we did this year, and that's exactly the sort of reaction I was after as well. So the boys' morale continues to improve. That's fantastic. The board is very happy with my overall leadership of the team, so I'm very secure right now, which is great. Tactics a little bit down, but one of those things. When you've been playing the same formation all season long, that sort of makes sense. And as a pre-season, we'll get the boys back, for 5 weeks, as early as we can. I always like to do that. And there you go. So what we'll do to end the in the season is run through the final squad we have. You can take a look at the attributes of the players, and as you can see, also the contracts too. There are a few players, their deals that come to the end of the year, like we briefly discussed a minute ago. Shackle and Marshall going back from their loan spells. Not sure either will return, but I'd like to get Ben back on a permanent deal if I could do so. But Cahill, as we know, is leaving. Webster might be leaving. He probably will, because I can't give him a new contract. He keeps on saying he's not interested. So I think Webster's probably going to go. It's a bit of a shame after signing from Yeovil a few years ago. Martin, I'm not entirely sure about. Might sign him, might not. There are a couple of freebie goalkeepers we could pick up for the new season. Toffolo will probably get a new deal. And as for Harry Gerling, I'm not sure he's going to make the cut. So, that's it. The first season is over. And I've got to say, it was a really, really fun one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with this first season. And I'm excited for season 2. It should be a lot of fun. And it's going to begin tomorrow morning around 10 to 11 a.m. UK time with the transfer special. Now, if you've not watched one of my season openers before, then you're in for a treat. I mean, I say you're in for a treat. It's mostly 13 to 14 minutes of me rambling on, as always, and going through individual attributes of every single new signing I've made. But yeah, the new season, the transfer special, is going to begin tomorrow morning. Oh, what's up with these red arrows, George? And hopefully you guys will enjoy it. So thank you for the support throughout season 1. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed the season finale as well, then please do drop a like, as likes are, of course, very much appreciated, and we'll out channel out as well. Have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you for the start of the new season, a transfer special tomorrow morning, where hopefully Millwall will head into season 2, making some really good signings and having a really, really good positive go at the New Year's opening day. Bye.